Hi everyone, welcome back to Crafting with Slavie. I wanted to share a card with you today that I made for a friend of mine who had a pet pass away recently. And while I was at it, I made a few of these cards as most of my friends have pets, and I consider these types of cards, any kind of condolence card really, kind of like insurance. Better to have them and not need them than need them and not have them. And I anticipate that at some point in the future I will be needing some. So I went ahead and made a few of these along with the one that I gave to my friend, and we'll go through the process today. So I decided, and this was kind of it was a bit of a mixed bag for me. I had gotten up at 3:30 on this Sunday morning. I got woken up and I just could not go back to sleep. So after laying in bed for about an hour, just staring at the ceiling, I decided to actually get up and do something productive. I knew that I had wanted to get this done, and I just felt like it was, if I didn't go ahead and do it, it wasn't going to get done as I had plans that day, and I probably was going to need a nap at some point. So I started off with making a little bit of a mask for this heart, and this heart came from a Concord and 9th stitch turnabout stamp set that I had. It was just so pretty. It had lines across it, and I wanted to use it. But as you can see here, I stamped it in pink, masked it, and then ink blended around it, but I was not crazy about it. And I have this blush pearl embossing powder from Ranger, and I decided that I was going to stamp again with embossing ink and do the powder, and that kind of set the mood for the rest of the card. I decided that I was going to do a lot of heat embossing on it. So then I went in with these little paw prints, and this is why I didn't use a MISTI for the paw prints, because I knew I wanted at least 2 on every panel, and I only had the 1 stamp, so it was easier because they would be going in different directions to do it this way rather than having to set up the MISTI each time, especially since I was only making 4 cards, so it didn't take up too much of my time. And before I began on the panel, you can see that I changed direction there. I had treated the cardstock with the anti-static powder tool, and this is the part where I use the MISTI just to line up that sentiment on the inside perfectly. And this is from the Simon Says stamp Furever in Our Hearts collection, so the paw prints as well as the sentiments are from there. And I did treat the inside of the cards with some anti-static powder tool, just not the bottom, so you could see that it kind of got caught there. Pardon the banging if you hear it. Somebody's doing something outside. And then I heat set that with my heat gun for all of them. And I did everything in order, so I just went through each stage of these cards all at once. And then I cut out the Furever in Our Hearts set came with the With Sympathy die cuts, which is a very intricate, very pretty die cut. So I cut it out of white cardstock, and I layered it 3 each, and I then proceeded to put that on my card front. So this is me just layering it so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. And I then went ahead and finished prepping my card base. Made sure I had it lined up properly, because I've definitely done that before where I mount the front panel on the wrong side. And I had gone through and I actually cut out the panels with the stitched rectangle dies from Simon Says stamp, also linked below. And then I proceeded to put the sentiment on the front, and it added quite a bit of dimension, which is what I was going for. And then I used my tonic medium mat here to line up the swirlies on the side of the sympathy word there, so that it was kind of center and pleasing to the eye, if you will. And then after I did that, I actually, and I don't know if there's a better way. If you guys know of a better way, please tell me in the comments below to deal with the eyes. They are the bane of my existence. So I decided that instead of trying to layer it and then put it on the card front, I was going to put glue down and then layer each time with the glue. And it seemed to work okay, but I don't know if there's a better way of telling you those eyes. And then here I am just stamping the back with Handmade with Love stamp that I have that I really like, and I'm embossing that with the same blush pearl embossing powder that I used earlier. Oh, and I should mention the silver. The silver is the super fine detail embossing powder, as well as the black is the super fine detail embossing powder from Ranger. And then here I am going in with the Tonic Studio, I think it's called Oyster Gray, which seemed to match. It was a little bit more beigey than I was anticipating, but it ended up working out really well, which you can see in the final photos. And that was it for my card. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope you like it below. Thanks so much. Bye.